So guys, in this part we are going to work on image. That means we are going to interact with an object, then we are going to show an image of that object in our canvas. So first, let's create a new object. I'm going to make a 3D object, cube. Then I want to change the scale. Right now it's too big. I want to change it to 0.4. Here I don't want that much, to 0.21 because it's paper, so we don't need that to become too big. And here is 0.5. So now I'm going to bring here, bring it up until I see it. So, and now I want to make a, so we want to have something inside of that. So let's to name it paper info 1. Just make this one a 2. Still is not too big. So there. So now let's go inside of our sprite. Here, I'm going to delete it to show you what to do. Here, as you see, I have this default material. So, but I want to have another material for that. So here I'm going to create a new material. So here I'm going to name it paper info 1. And now I want to replace it with this material. So I'm going to just keep it and drag it there. As you see now, it's changed to paper info 1. Now let's click on our paper info 1. Here we have a albedo. I'm going to change that with this one. So, and if you want, you can also a little bit change it like that. And let's see it, maximize it, and see how it become. So, yeah, that's not bad. Maybe we can make it still a little bit smaller to look smaller. So for now, that's good. So if it's too big, so you can make it maybe 3, I think 4.45, yeah. And then we can put it somewhere else. We don't want to have everything there, so I'm going to put it there. Or let's put it at there. and I'm going to turn it so that like that. So still I need to bring it a little bit up. So it's too big, because of that we don't see that. So I'm going to small it a little bit again. Yeah, now that's a good size. So next part, I'm going to add in our canvas, right click, UI, image. So now let's double click on that, make it 2D, and let's zoom out. And I want to make it at the peak of our size of canvas. So here, so it was something like that. Now, if I'm going to put this paper there, so first I need to change it to 2D. So then I can use it. So yeah, that's not bad. We can put every different, yeah, we can put different, for example, the puzzle for the game. For example, the player need to solve the puzzle to find a key, password for a door or something like that. We are now want to work on that. So for now, let's just click none. So now here I'm going to disable this image so that we don't see that in our game. Next, we need to go inside of our script to our items. Now here we need another variable for the image. So public sprite. I'm going to call it image. So now let's save it. Going back to the game. Now here we need also attach the interactable to our paper info. Now here we need to make an item for it. So let's go inside of our item, create a new item. I'm going to call it paper. Maybe inside of the parentheses, I'm not crazy. So you know exactly what kind of item you want to use. And then here we need an image. So let's put that image inside of it. I'm going to rename it so I can find it very easier. So that is also the paper, the image. And we need also the audio clip and text. So guys, now I add a new voice inside of that. So let's go back to our paper, add that voice there. So the paper, I'm not crazy. The sound, the paper, I'm not crazy. And also it's the text. So I am not crazy, What does that mean? I cannot understand it. So we add that now, that paper there. So now that we have the information about our interaction objects and also the paper that we want to activate it, the image that we want to activate it. So we have everything that we want. So now let's go inside of our script, interaction, UI manager, interaction. So we need an interaction image for that. So let's here under that create a new variable, public image. We need, because for adding image we need to using UI. So here let's create using Unity Engine and .ui. So now here we can write image and we call it interaction image. Now let's make a function for our interaction image. So down here I'm going to write public void, this time set image. Inside of the parentheses we need to write sprite and pass that information about that sprite image to sprite. Then here we need the interaction image. So the image of our interaction image will be our sprite. So that means here the sprite, we are going to get the sprite of the item that we create, and we pass it to this sprite. Also we want to say interaction image dot enabled is equal to true. Now also here at setback image we need to add if our state is not true, then interaction image dot enabled is equal to false. That means here we are going to set that image here when we have that. So the back image we want to disable our image. Now let's save our script and going back to our play interaction. So where we are going to interact with an item, here we need to also say if item.image is not equal to null. That means if we have image inside of our item, so that's we write it because we don't want to get any error, because some items we don't need any image. That's why we don't want to get any errors. So that's why I say if it's not null. That means if we have something, then UI manager dot instance dot set image item dot image. So we are going to set the image of that item inside of our UI manager. So now let's save it and test it. Going back to the game. After it compiled, let's go inside of our canvas. Here we need to add the interaction image. So that is, let's rename it interaction image as well. And set it inside of our interaction image. So now let's play it and test it. So now I think the problem is that it's too far, or let me see. I think it's because it's too far. So let's make the player interaction back to 2. Let's see if it's work. Still doesn't work. I wonder why it doesn't work. So the reason that we cannot interact with that paper is that because the box collider from the chair. So as you see that it's because it's inside of so this box collider, so it cannot show us the interaction paper. So let's here use the chair. So we just need to go up, then I'm going to click on this one, bring it down. So far it's good. Now let's test it again. As you see now, we have this tray and the paper. Let's click on that.
A mug. Who does this belong to?
I need first to change it because I changed that paper info. I need to change back to paper again, and let's test it again.
I am not crazy. What does that mean? I cannot understand it.
So maybe it's better that we make that image a little bit smaller, so that it's not in our caption text. So that's our caption text, and it's above our caption text. Or we can make our caption text is a little bit too big. Maybe we can make it smaller, and instead our interaction image to become bigger. So now let's test it again. Label it.
I am not crazy. What does that mean? I cannot understand it.
And you see, as soon as the voice is finished down the back, also coming to click the right click mouse and then so back.
I am not crazy. What does that mean? I cannot understand it.
So now the only problem that we have now when we interact with the object, still we have that text from the interaction. See?
I am not crazy. What does that mean? I cannot understand it.
When we are going back, still we have that text which we need to do something about that, because now if I'm going back to this one,
A mug. Who does this belong to? Doesn't matter. I don't need it anyway.
we will have this caption text. So to fix that, it's easy. We just need to going to our script, play interaction, and here where we want to interact, we need to set something. So here, not that one, here at can finish, we need to say UI manager dot instance dot here set captions, and then so this one, that means we want to inside of that caption text to become empty. Here that means make it to empty. So save it, and now let's check it. Now we should solve that problem.
I am not crazy. What does that mean? I cannot understand it.
As you see, it's cleared. Now here as
A
well.
mug. Who does this belong to? Doesn't matter. I don't need it anyway.
And also same for that one. So now that's work. So here also the image that we can get some info or a story about the game. We done it. So then see you guys now in the next video.